and I locate that component, I can set a price property to it. So for instance, I'll say 100. And when I publish it now, before I can get to it, it won't let me see a single stitch of that application until I complete this particular form. Okay? And I can, since this component inherits superclass is the panel component, I can do all sorts of other things, like I can set its background color, so I'll just make it a little bit darker gray. And for instance, if I'm in another country, if I want to skin this for maybe Spain, I can say name field equals nombre instead of name, and then I can publish it, and you'll see that it's automatically changed accordingly. So I'm just going to put in some bogus information here. I can customize. This is just, like I said, a very rough, brief interview of this. I'm going to put in a dummy credit card number. Trust me, don't try to buy anything with this. Okay. And now, if I get it wrong, if I put in the wrong credit card number, it's going to validate it and tell me that the form is, or the credit card number is not accurate. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and enter the correct information, and then it's going to accept my payment. So this is basically what our goal is to try to, once again, create a very, that's just sort of the front end of this. We have and as if I go back into my piggy bank presentation, if you download this application and go through some of the slides here, there's a pretty sophisticated description of how the back end of all this works. In other words, how the money movement of this works. And we've got evolving relationships developing with Wachovia is sort of our partner in the banking end of this, as well as we have a component that's going to work directly with PayPal. So we are also, just to show some of the other partners we're working with on this, I mentioned Wachovia, Card Service International. I don't know how many of you have how many of you have e-commerce experience on the web? Okay, a lot of you have. Basically, what we're finding out, and just a very brief background, the parent company of OnAIR Apps is a learning management / content management system company, and we're porting our application to OnAIR. And we want to find a way to leverage additional income from our desktop-based users. And we felt we were leaving a lot of money on the table for some of the really cool stuff we're building there. But we just looked into it. We didn't really see a very seamless way to protect our code and to easily leverage revenue from those end client users. So that sort of is what, just as a bit of background, got us started down this path. One other quick thing before I make way for the next presenter, just to kind of do my best to try to espouse on some of the really cool aspects of OnAIR. Some of the other things that I've got built into this application here to show that the really exciting hybridization between Flash and JavaScript / DOM scripting. For instance, in here I've got this Flash-based ActionScript dictionary. So if I put in like a AIR or ActionScript 3 command and then press enter, it will automatically show me from the information retrieved directly from the live docs on the Adobe website. And this took a very short amount of time to build. Not because I'm a good programmer, but just because the framework for Flex and hashing things up and matching things together is really cool. Another thing, how many of you are familiar with Twitter? Twitter's really cool. I actually set up a Twitter account for this presentation at Twitter / Atlanta OnAIR. So if I go into my OnAIR application and post something, for instance, I'll say, I am in the middle of my presentation. Time is about up. And it will automatically post that when I go to when I reload the Twitter page for Atlanta OnAIR, it will automatically, as soon as it loads, show it. And I don't have to worry about someone going and posting something inappropriate because, well, maybe I do, but it's actually that username is being pulled directly from my desktop because it's running on the file system and I have access to the local file system, so I'm pulling that and passing it along to the Twitter API. Okay. One more thing I'm going to mention before I finish up here is that we are going to, like I said, I do encourage you to download this application. Also, anytime when you join airapps.net, it's free. You automatically get your own CBS CDS repository to share code. So for instance, in this Flex Builder application, for my project for Atlanta OnAIR, you can see my little icon that it's connected to a CDS repository called airapps.net. So if you go to cds.airapps.net/emansouri, I typically publish my application code there, including this Atlanta OnAIR code. So you can see my JavaScript, you can see my MXML code, etc. And finally, we are going to have a booth at Max in Chicago, and we're going to be giving away some really good stuff. And we actually, just as far as our timeline, we plan to be enabling Air developers to actually move money for real by the time we get to Max. We've still got quite a bit of work to do, but we're making some real great progress. I want to thank Mike Chambers and his team for giving me the opportunity to present to you, and I'll be around afterwards in the main lobby area to answer any questions you may have.